So we're going to compare quantities, learn how to present ratios to fractions. So example 1, Henry eats pepperoni pizza and vegan pizza in a ratio of 6 to 4. What fraction of vegan pizza does he eat? What fraction of pepperoni pizza does he eat? So first, we have to determine the total number of parts, right? Because we know in a fraction, when we set it up, our fractions, our bottom number is the total, right? Typically. Total of desired amounts, I should say. Because we could set up fractions where we don't actually use the total. But that is just typically, it's the total of the desired amounts, right, is your denominator. So we have to determine the number of parts. Well, how many parts do we have? The amount of parts is just, we want to add the individual parts from the ratio. So we have 6 to 4, right? And that is how I turned it into just 6 plus 4. So just think, instead of being the colon, you're just making it a plus sign in the middle. So now, we want the number we want from our question. So if we look at vegan pizza, okay, what fraction of vegan pizza? I'll do this one in blue. So the number we want, well, vegan is the second number in our ratio, right? So that's the number 4 over our total, which is the 10. And I didn't add this actually together over there, but you guys know that 6 plus 4 is 10. Then, one thing we can always do with fractions, though, simplify, because we know we can divide both the top and bottom by 2 and simplify our fractions. Right? Then we want to find out what fraction of pepperoni he eats. So pepperoni, well, if 2/5 of the time he eats vegan and the rest of the time he eats pepperoni, well, we just have to take away from 1. Okay? So that means we do 1 minus, and this 2/5. So this is just fractions, and we know that we can write any fraction over the same denominator, over itself, and it's still 1. So 5 over 5 is 1, 4 over 4 is 1, 1 over 1 is 1. So I'm just choosing to match my denominator to the other one. So here, then I can subtract my tops because I have the same denominator, and I get 3/5. Some people can just see that it's 3/5, and you do not have to do any of the work. So, just one thing that's kind of nice to do when you're writing out any answer is actually answer the question. So we can say 2/5, and then say vegan. So even just saying that is better than saying nothing at all. That's saying to the reader that, hey, I know that was the vegan, that was the pizza, this is a fraction. I'm kind of answering my question. So, example 2, Mark colors his beard using a ratio of pink to yellow of 2 to 5. So, what fraction is yellow? What fraction is pink? So, first off, find the total parts. So, the total parts, remember, this 2 to 5, we are going to change it to 2 plus 5 equals 7, and this is our total parts. And we'll actually use that again in the future, this idea of total parts and adding the parts, your ratio together, or the parts of the ratio together. So that's our total parts. So we know both for, this is for this over 7, and this is over 7. We'll call this on the right our pink, and we'll call this our yellow. Right? So we know that we have ratio of pink to yellow is 2. So we have 2 yellow. and the rest of it is pink. So we have 5 over 7. So now here are 3 questions. I want you to give them a go. When you're ready, press or pause the video now. When you're ready, press play, and then we'll go through the answers. Okay, so we're back, and we're looking at question 1. The ratio of people to dogs in Russian is 5 to 1. That means our total parts is 6, right? So if you can always think, if you want to try and think of that, why would that be our total parts? Think if it as a group, right? Think if you have one group of people. If there's only one group of people in Russian, and that means that there's 5 dogs or 5 people and 1 dog in that group. So what does that group consist of? 6. We don't care if they're dogs or people, just how many objects in that group. So what fraction of them are dogs? Well, there's 1 dog per 6, so 1/6. What fraction of people? Well, 5 out of the 6. Luke eats 4 raspberries, one strawberry, and 6 blueberries. So we want to find our total parts. So always find your total parts. Typically, in most ratio questions, we're going to find total parts at some stage. So 4, 1 is 5, 5 and 6 is 11. So here, for the fraction questions, right? I'm not even reading them right now, I'm going to be honest. I just know that they go over 11. So what fraction are blueberries? What fraction are raspberries? I could ask you a really tricky of what fraction, rate the fraction of blueberries to strawberries or something like that. But that would just be really kind of not needed for this part. So question A, though, let's look back at this. Write the above as a ratio. Well, we know how to do that. It already says eats 4 raspberries, 1 strawberry, and 6 blueberries. So 4 to 1 to 6. So we put it in the exact same way that they have it in the question, so I'm not going to give it descriptors. Next, how many blueberries do we have? Oh, we have 6 blueberries. So we're going to put a 6 for a numerator. And for C, what about raspberries? Well, there's 4 raspberries. So we're going to put the 4 up there. Write all the fractions for the ratio 5 to 8. So all fractions for the ratio 5 to 8. Well, total parts is equal to 5 plus 8, which is 13. So we can write 5 over 13. And we can write 8 over 13. Correct. And I kind of alluded to it before, but 2 other fractions that you could write, because we could write 5 over 8, and we could write 8 over 5. Do not worry so much about those last 2 right now. We're going to have a little bit more chat about those. Just keep in mind what all these questions have in common. I'm going to point this out right now. All of them ask what fraction are dogs, what fraction are something, what fraction are blueberries, what fraction are raspberries. So they only are asking what fraction are one quantity. Okay? We'll see in the future where you could have a fraction comparing 2 things.